Welcome. We're going to talk today about activity or wellness personnel starting to chart in matrix. So if I am an activity person or wellness person and I want to start documenting activities, I'm going to go to the URL for Matrix called bhs-ca.matrixcare.com. This is our Care Assist URL for Matrix, and this is where we do our documentation. So I'm going to go into the demo site, but you would pick your site as an activity person. You would not have to use an EMR assignment because you would want to see all the residents, and then you could pick what care setting you would like to work in. I'm going to work in the assisted living today, so then I'm going to put start. You're going to see all my residents come up. I am going to go ahead and go over to the tasks in the resident tasks. You'll notice I see my residents down the left-hand side, and it's alphabetical. I can type in a name to search for a resident name, or I can just click on a name. I can also hide the list. And as soon as I click on a person, you're going to see that I see these icons. These are all extra charting for each client. As I click on the names, I will change the banner, and then I will be able to document. So anything here is documentation is extra. You can view anyone's service plan by clicking on the View Service Plan link, which is always blue. And here's the questionnaire that the nurses do for the resident. And you'll notice here that life enrichment activities question that we will complete. That's the question that triggers the form. But you can look at people's service plans. You'll notice that there's an activity tile. There's a communication tile, there's a behavior tile, there's a mood tile. If I want to document activities, and today we had our fitness program, so I'm going to click on that. I can give a brief description of what it was, and maybe it's morning exercise. Sometimes I like to highlight and copy by pushing my Control-C, because I'm going to put it onto multiple people. So Judith today went to exercise. It's asking if she attended, and then it's asking if she participated. And I'm going to say yes. It's also asking for minutes. What was a 45-minute class? If I want to make a comment, I can. Once I'm done charting, you can see that it goes right back to the tiles. It's going to lead me on my fitness program. And then I can go to the next person and I can keep going in. And then I'm going to go Control-V, and I'm going to say that they participated and how many minutes. And then I can start documenting how many people came to my fitness program. So now I had 3 people documented that they're at my fitness. You'll always see when things are documented last. I always have a view look back for every resident, so I can see anything that I charted on the resident in the last 2 days will be here on my view look back. I can amend my own charting or mark it invalid. So if I didn't mean for Lois to go to this, I documented wrong, I'm just going to say it was the wrong resident. I'm going to mark it invalid. I can go back to the resident charting and I can say it was really Joan Hickman who attended. You can see all the blue hyperlinks just get you to navigate around. So I can come back to the icons, and maybe I want to chart a little bit of mood for Joan because She was just feeling sad today, and I just want to document that she was just crying and tearful. And then it asks you, what actions did I take? Well, we kind of gave her a little one-to-one. And was the mood, behavior, crying, tearfulness easily altered? And today I'm going to say it wasn't really. And then I'm going to click done. And you'll see here that I have some charting now on her. And if I want to go back to the beginning of the tiles, I can go in here. So it's very nice. It's very nice for the aides. If they have a behavior, it's always asking them how many minutes did occur, and it's making them think about those activities to redirect or provide a calm environment, and was it effective or not. So we really have some better documentation, and you can always make comments. So we'll return to the beginning. So that's just a little overview of how to get onto the tasks and charts. So you will be charting under tasks and then resident tasks. If I now want to change assignments, I will go to my name and change assignments, and then I could go over to another unit, whether it be memory care, independent living. All my residents in my demo site, they live in assisted living, so I won't find anyone over here. The next part of the wellness people are getting into the senior living URL, and that's bhs-sl.matrixcare.com. And to find the URLs, you can always go on to eSource, and a great place to look for references, where hopefully you're finding this video, is under departments, under housing, housing documents, and there's something called Matrix Care Senior Living Videos and Tools. And so you'll see under here there is a URL for assisted living document, and so you can copy all these URLs, and it tells you what they're for and what you need for each application. And there's lots of little videos about how to do things. So this one will also be put on here today. As I log into Matrix Care, if you are the person setting up users, we do need to know that anyone that is going to do the wellness questionnaire form under system setup, under their username, they do need the token of CLIN. So let's go ahead and edit BHS Meadow 2. And so under the username, this is the primary role for senior living, where we did set them up as care assist, but they also need some roles in senior living. So they should have a clinical role. They can also have the clinical CNC for notes in case they want to do a clinical note. You might want to give them a clinical note role also. So CLIN, CNC, clinical notes, and then the default for the care assist. Under clinical, you'll notice when you first log in, you usually default to evaluations, where you can change that if you want. You can set your home page to your favorites, whatever you want to name it. So typically you're going to be doing clinical forms or clinical notes. Clinical notes is the old progress notes from Elite. You'll notice that when you come onto clinical notes, if I want to save this as my home page, I can just click this button, and every time I log into senior living, I'm going to come right to my notes. I can also undo that if I want to delete that. When you first log in, you're going to see here, it tells me what community I'm at, what region, and it's going to tell me that my time frame is for the last 72 hours. Because this is my demo site and I haven't done any charting in the last 72 hours, I have nothing to read. I have to remember to go up to my filter, which is this little funnel shaped thing, and I have to change my time frame to all notes, or I can change it to a certain date range if I'm looking for a particular one. But if I want to see everyone, I'm going to go to all notes. And you'll see here it goes alphabetically. It'll start with Fred and it'll move on as the things are charted. And if I want to look for a particular person, let's look for Jane. Here's Jane. And if I want to do a new note, I just highlight the row. And what I'm doing is I'm clicking behind the name on anywhere in here to highlight my buttons. Once I highlight, it will direct me what I can do. I can modify this note. I can view it. I can delete it if you have that capability, or I can put new. If I want to do a new note on Jane, I just hit new and I select my type. So maybe it's a care conference. Maybe it's just a standard progress note. Maybe it's spiritual care or therapy. Maybe it's wellness activities. And here I can document like I used to over in the elite side, anything spoke with. Maybe she just doesn't want to come to exercise anymore. We saved it. And now we're gonna go ahead and go back up to our filter. Or just click clinical notes again. You just have to toggle something and it'll bring you back to the first page. You'll see here these notes are chronological time. So here is, should have my note in here somewhere. Sometimes you gotta toggle the notes. By hitting this up and down, you'll see the notes change. I can toggle residence by room, number. And again, I'm searching for Jane, so I have to clear that out. I can go into show hide columns, and that'll bring everybody back up. The show hide columns is something to shorten your columns. Like you don't need to know the category and level. You don't really need to have the resident ID or pair. I may not care about the move-in date, community, or points. So I can kind of make my own page screen show whatever I want. If you want to print notes, you would highlight the person. You really want to hit view first and then export to a PDF. And then you would print the notes for Jane. Otherwise, you'll have, if you just hit the print, you can X out to close it. If you just hit print, you'll print all notes for the community. So you have to kind of toggle it back. And then we're going to go down to clinical, and then we're going to go to forms. Forms is where you are going to find your wellness questionnaire. So unlike notes, we're going to go right to new. We're going to hit record type. We're going to hit resident. It could be a moving in resident, so someone coming in that you have their form already done. You're going to select the name. You can copy over an existing form if she's already had one, or you can add it new. And you'll see all the different forms there are. And yours is called the Person-Centered Wellness Questionnaire. Go ahead and I'm going to copy her last one over. Once you hit add, it's going to open it up. So basically it's going to start with, on the left-hand side are the categories. And I can toggle to the categories going up and down. But it's going to start with personal information, what her name is. So my name is Jane J. Castellano. Maybe she has a nickname of JC. She moved into the community, and what's nice is it's pretty easy to know that when you have the banner here. So she was admitted on 11/23 of 2005. So I can correct that. Her apartment number is 101, and I can see she moved, so I'm going to correct that. And then these are the questions that we give them prior to moving. And so you can kind of just give a little bit of a synopsis here. You'll notice these first questions have limited characters, so there's always additional characters, which there's 4,000 characters in the next box. It's just giving you additional information. You know, it's using your good open-ended questions. So maybe she wants to talk about what her children are, her favorite pastimes. And so it's all free text. You can just come in here. The questions are set up a little bit differently in different sections. So we want to know their type of music. And anything that you're finding out, this is opening up into our evaluation for nursing so we can kind of see things, but still having that good verbal communication when you're done with the nurse. Like pay attention to things that she used to do for her bedtime routine. So if you know that she likes privacy at certain times of day, you might want to alert the nurse because she's not going to look at this till day 14. We want you guys to do these in the first 14 days and annually, but she may not get there and see it until day 14. So we really want to get to know these people. So maybe she doesn't want any services till after 10 a.m. So that's important. We want to have that conversation with the nurse. So here's her night routine. There's some drop down questions like 19. I prefer to take showers, tub baths, morning, evening. She has no time preference. So if you're talking to her about these things, this is stuff that we want to incorporate in here. There's foods they don't like. You know, what time do they like their meals and snacks? We can do a little note here. So these are things that we want to fill out. And then once you're done, all you have to do is hit save, hit your back to forms, and you'll start from the beginning and the nurse will take over from there. And that's all there is to filling out the form. So we go clinical, forms, to new, to resident or move in, and then find the resident's name and either add a new one if there's not one to copy over. Thank you for attending this recording. Of course, my name is Linda Johnson. You can always email me or reach out for any questions.